Live from the Death Star. Uh, I'm happy. I know you're mad. You just took 2 of my beers and you just abruptly left my house. So, me and Steve consulted with each other on this, and we felt it was a great move on our part. What do you think?
I'm gonna try to refrain from swearing in this, but it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Um, wow, this was bad.
Well, on paper, it looks bad, I think. Um, but I love the goalie move. I didn't know Cossa was, or Cossa or Casa was 6'6". Don't like the weight, 210. It's a little tough, but, I think he's better pick than Wallstedt. I do like that Edvinsson trade or move. Um,
All right, let's talk six
Go
overall.
Edvinsson
Let's
first.
talk
Yeah, go
Edvinson
Edvinsson
first.
first. Go ahead.
All right, so when Edvinson, the top five above us went Power, Benyers, Hughes, who went third or who went fourth?
I
Um,
think, we just watched it. Hold on.
yeah, I know. I just watched it. I can't remember. Pull it up.
I am right now. Let's see. Big
This is terrible. I should know this.
tracker. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. We were bitching about this the whole time. When you're doing an interview and the pick is in, what's Gary doing? Is he just sitting there? Hey, Gary, wait for a second. We're doing this interview with the three brothers.
Yeah, like that. No one outside of
Hughes,
whatever
speaking
cares
of,
about. Yeah.
yeah, Hughes,
Um.
Hughes, Johnson, Edvinson. So Johnson, I think, was going to be the pick. I don't think they counted on Columbus making that, being smart about that pick.
Well, wait, hold
So,
on. So you went. It went. I'm sorry. It went Power,
mhm,
Benyers,
yes,
Hughes.
McTavish,
Oh, I'm
Anaheim
sorry.
picked
That's
McTavish,
who it was. It was McTavish,
Hughes,
Hughes,
Johnson,
Johnson,
Edvinson.
Edvinson. So we passed on Eklund, which I mean, there were some people who thought he was a top two pick in this draft. Uh, there were a few people I think who thought he was going first or had the potential to go first overall. I think Power being the safe pick was always going to go first overall.
Well, I think they
Um,
wanted the center there. I think it was either going to be Johnson or Edvinson. Okay, if we can't get the center, we'll just trade, or not trade, but pick the defenseman. But that guy's going to play with Cider,
I said this before the pick. I said I was not going to be surprised if it was Edvinson.
right?
This is the type of D that has been drafted since Steve came here. Big
Yep.
guys who are
Big
not
reach.
question. They're not question marks in their own end, or they've got a great physical skill set. And so I wasn't gonna be surprised. I wasn't surprised. I didn't like it with Eklund still on the board.
Right.
Um,
Eklund's got the skill to be a star. That's no
yeah,
doubt. No doubt.
Eklund outpaced Raymond in his draft year. So let's just look at that. So you were willing to choose Raymond at fourth overall,
Right.
but the guy who could potentially be better, maybe you pass. You
Well,
think it's the same type of player? You just don't want. I don't know. I don't get that. Especially when at forward, I mean, possibly center. Which he could play maybe depending. And the bad thing was he went right. He went the next pick, right? That was what really kind of hurt there. He went
yeah,
second.
but he's not going to do anything in San Jose. They don't have anything over there as in firepower. The firepower is on their defensive end, and those guys are getting old. So I don't see them going anywhere. Eklund will probably get out of San Jose in probably 10 years anyway, even
I
if
mean,
he
it
is
could be,
if
but
he's
I
good.
mean, who knows? I mean,
There's
it's
no
just
way San Jose, one of the most mismanaged teams in the NHL right now.
I'll agree with you there, but I'm just saying like it doesn't help us that they're mismatched necessarily, right? It's just
We got the I think
we have a
the goalie trade was
don't
big
no.
for Nedeljkovic.
Okay,
We
the
need
Nedeljkovic
firepower.
trade was huge. I will
Right.
give you that. And this is why the Cossa move is terrible. You went and you spent a third round pick and the rights to Bernier, who, whatever.
Mhm.
If he signs there, doesn't sign there, it really doesn't matter. You're talking UFA rights, which never go for anything. They usually go for like sixth or seventh round picks. So
Right.
they're very minor. Let's not talk about Bernier being a big part of this trade. So you traded a third round pick for a guy with Calder consideration in the NHL posting great numbers, right? Great move. Then you turn around and you trade basically a second round pick and a third round pick, so more to pick a goalie in the first round.
Here's the thing with that,
It doesn't make any sense.
I think that was the I think he's better than I think he's gonna be better than Askarov. Um, I think it was a need. Petruzzelli's obviously gone now. Like, if we needed any indicator more indicator, I don't know what to tell you. We need that pipeline open. We won't probably see him in a couple years. Nedeljkovic will probably want 7 or 8 million by that time if he pans out. So it's gonna be
I mean,
important that we
okay, if
have
you're if
that
you're worried about the
pipeline.
money though, you're gonna have to spend the money. Either way, if you want a
Right.
top tier goalie, you're gonna have to spend the money, whether it's Nedeljkovic or Cossa or some kid down the line that comes out of the seventh round and makes both of these moves look terrible, which is a very good possibility after all.
Alright, well,
Um,
we need immediate help on scoring. We don't need somebody 5 years, 6 years from now. We got that taken care of. We need somebody right now. So what this tells me is that we
yeah,
may make a splash here in the offseason, maybe on a Landeskog like we talked about before.
yeah, but Landeskog isn't giving you, help down the road when this actually becomes a contender. That's the problem. You have to build in the time frame of the guys who you have so that your contention window, if it ever comes for a cup window, is open as long as possible. Getting vets and UFAs who are 27, 28, 30, they're not going to be there. They're going to be old. They're going to be on the backside of their career. You're still going to be paying them probably, of course. They're going to get that 7 years, 9 million like Seth Jones just got. I mean, he got 8 years, but which is terrible. But that's the kind of deals that people are going to give for these high end players that aren't actually going to help. And it's been seen time and time again. We've made a few of those deals. Um, and it
I
just doesn't
it's
work
just
out.
we haven't failed on a draft yet. So we haven't missed on a draft yet with
Who
Eiserman
and
at the
with
helm.
Iserman?
Yeah, Sider, Raymond, right? We haven't missed yet.
Okay, that's
So
2, but you also
my
have
guess,
Tuomisto, Wallander,
well, Tuomisto's going to be
Brevet.
probably bottom. He's going to play. I think he's that good.
You think Tuomisto's that
Um,
good?
yeah, our first
Tuomisto,
round
he's
we haven't
projecting
missed.
well. I'll give you that, but I'm just saying, like, you're trading great draft capital for projects.
Well,
Edvinsson is a better project than those 2. I'll give it that. He's solid defensively, whatever. Doesn't really have the offensive game though, kinda like Cider, so maybe it comes. Like, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on Edvinsson. I'm willing to do that tonight. I really am. But you have 2 goalies left in 8 picks to when, the Red Wings were gonna select at 2022 technically, right? Do we really
well,
think they're both going? Do we really care? You coulda got Goudreau or however it's Goudreau. Um,
Lucius was there too. So
but yeah, Lucius and Roddy. This is my problem. Center is terrible. You just got Nedeljkovic, who is better prospect technically than either of these 2. He's proven he can stop pucks in the NHL. So you've got that. And not only that you got him, you've proven that good goaltending does not carry value in the NHL. Period. It does not carry high value.
well, look at Carey Price.
What about Carey Price? He just
High,
got
he's got
passed
high
over.
value. He didn't get passed. He got passed over a knee surgery that he's going to be recovered from in 12 weeks.
Well, they should have
He,
known that though,
you
right?
don't
I
have
mean,
Carey Price. Montreal doesn't make it out of the first round. All right,
yeah, but he
so
was
that's
he
what I'm
was
saying.
significantly worse than both Vasilevsky
Vasilevsky,
and Hellebuck, who just doesn't have the team around him.
Vasilevsky is a franchise goaltender. We could have had him.
Yeah, well,
Hellebuck,
let's not get into
Hellebuck's a
Vasilevsky.
franchise too.
Okay, I agree with you.
You got to stay. I mean, we don't even know about Nedeljkovic. All we know is that he can stop pucks, and
Yeah, but
if
we
he has a
gave up
team in
more
front of
for
him,
Cossa than we gave up for Nedeljkovic.
if it pans out, here's the thing. I could argue with you on that all day, but if it pans out, which everything else so far first round has panned out for us very well. If it pans out in 2 years, we probably see him in the AHL. That's panning out pretty well because he's
Yeah,
probably
that's
going to
also
play.
I don't
He,
know.
we don't have anybody else. Petruzzelli's gone.
Yeah, but
It's
we
over.
just showed you could trade for someone any day of the week practically and get one, right?
Well,
I mean,
here's
you
the
got
thing.
Bernier played real well, Grice played okay. We just
Who
got
the hell?
Nedeljkovic.
What are they doing in Carolina, though? I
Well,
mean,
I don't know.
honestly,
I'm not worried
they
about
got to.
Carolina.
That's what I'm saying. Why would you make that trade? Because they didn't want to
Be,
pay him 3.5.
well, because apparently they think they can just go get a goalie any day of the week, and
Well,
it's
yeah, you got
better
to
than
have.
Nedeljkovic. So
There's
maybe
no
we
way
should think that too.
Carolina's not going to have the year this year that they had last year. There's no doubt in my mind. Watching Dougie Hamilton walk, and then they get rid of Delkovich because they're going to have Peter Mrazek. Now, if we had Peter in the pipeline, and then we have somebody like a Nedeljkovic or a Grice, completely different draft.
Look at
But
Nedeljkovic. He is a he was a rookie. Let's put it that way, right? I mean, Nedeljkovic was a rookie. Calder consideration, so he's a rookie, right? He's 25 years old. Let that sink in.
Yeah,
That's 7 years away for Cossa.
but he may come in and kick Nedeljkovic out of it. Nedeljkovic could have a one of those, I'm a backup goalie for the rest of my life, like a Bernier, and just move on. That's why there was no term on that contract. So honestly, I think Nedeljkovic just wanted out of Carolina, and Carolina just made it happen. That's the only way that makes sense.
I don't know about the Nedeljkovic thing, but I'm just looking at goalie value in a trade situation in today's NHL. And I mean, it's shown that this is, I mean, it's not
There's
there. The value is not there.
there is no viable goaltending to trade for right now. Who? Yeah, I mean,
We just
who would you
traded
trade
for
for?
one.
I know that's the only one, but we're not going to get anybody else. Who are we going to trade for
Who cares?
that can
You've got
handle it?
I mean,
We
you've
can't
got
ignore
Greiss.
the lack of pipeline at the goalie end. You
We
can't
had
do it.
Osgood winning cups, man.
Yeah, with Lidstrom and who else, Konstantinov and all of
He
that,
won
I'd
in
say no big
08.
deal.
He won in 08.
Who was on that team? Lindstrom, Rafalski,
Lidstrom,
Stewart, all them
Rafalski.
guys.
I
That was
mean,
a good
Stewart.
decor.
Yeah,
Who
you've got
who
the
we
good
got now?
decor.
Well, we got Troy Stetcher, the Lord and Savior himself,
Well,
but I
you
mean,
don't want to be good right now.
I know you don't wanna be good right
So
now,
what are we talking about?
but he said it right there at yesterday or today. He's building a competitive team. That's all he's doing. Delkovich is not gonna have the year he had last year here because
No,
of
he's
how
not.
bad our defensive core is right now.
Right.
So,
So
the
we've
2 years
drafted
comes
all the
up.
defensemen. You've got Wallander, Tuomisto, Sider. Now you've got Edvinsson. You've got Sabrango. You've got McIsaac. You've got Johansson. You've got Hronik. There's 8 guys I just counted off on my fingers for 6 spots in the NHL,
Right.
and they're gonna draft more tomorrow,
Mhm.
right? So, okay,
Cossa was gonna get drafted by the Rangers. That's the reason why they traded
then
up.
let the Rangers take him.
I'm just saying.
You've got Roddy, you've got Lucius, you've got no one at center except for Larkin at this point, right? Maybe Veleno, maybe Rasmussen. I mean,
We got
Fabry, who
Fabry.
knows?
Fabry.
Uh,
Well, he obviously has hope in Rasmussen. He wouldn't have given him 3 years
yeah,
at
but 3
pretty
years
much
at
a
like 1
discount.
point whatever. I mean,
It's a discount.
it's a huge discount.
So, I think he's gonna roll with Rass. I think our offense is gonna be better than last year. I think we're gonna make a bigger splash in free agency that's gonna get some goal scoring. We're gonna move Burt. That's known. I just know that's gonna happen. I mean, you gotta replace this, and this was a vanilla draft this year. The guy we wanted was gone in that first pick with Good Johnson. I know for a fact
That
that's
doesn't
what
mean
he
you
wanted.
panic and take a goalie.
No, you don't panic. You didn't panic. There's no goalie prospects coming up after this draft. You had to take Wallstead or Cost. Both of
You
them were
had
gonna go
Goudreau
in
in
the
the
first
second
round.
round, who was fantastic in the OHL.
How old is he?
He's in this draft. I mean, he's 18.
So, okay.
And
How
he could
big
be
is
as
he?
good as either of those two because it's a
There's no
goalie.
way Kosa is gonna be a way better goalie. 6'6", that's the goalie of the future. All good goalies right now are sitting about 6'2" and more. The bigger the goalie, the better the goalie. Now, granted, his weight's a little high, but if it's muscle, it is what it is. I was a little concerned with the Edvinsson when they were talking about his back. That's when I got concerned because they were talking about this new treatment they were doing on him, and I'm like, hold on a second, we just drafted. I was more concerned with the Edvinsson than I am about the Costa one. I really do think we cannot ignore that goalie pipeline, and I really do think if we ignore it this year, we're not going to get a shot at it next year. So,
A shot at what?
shot at a good goalie prospect. We can't just sit there and trade. We're going to get the David Legwan of goalie replacements. That's what Holland would do. He would just sit there and trade. You got to draft him. You
So
got to
Ben
draft him.
Goudreau is 6'2", 174.
Okay.
Could have
You
had him in
got.
the second.
I still don't think he's going to be as good a goalie as Kosa is.
I don't know, man.
The scout said he's got every single ingredient to be a top goalie. Best goalie in the draft, I think, for sure.
I'm sure DiPietro was too.
Well, that's a bad organization that should have moved on him from him a long time ago.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
But he played with the Islanders for 40 years. So, I mean,
Remember Tom McCollum?
Thomas McCollum.
Old Tomcat.
Yeah.
He was a
Well,
first round
remember
pick.
Joey McDonald?
He was first round pick too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Goalie development. Name a good goalie prospect outside of Osgood since we've had Howard. That's it.
Howard, Mrazek, maybe.
Howard, look how good he did.
Petroselli, unfortunately,
Petrozelli gone.
too soon.
and
Um,
then
yeah,
Osgood
I mean,
probably our best goalie. I mean, we've had to trade for good goalies our whole career. We could Joseph, Hasek,
yeah,
Vernon.
yeah,
I mean, before that, we had Shovel Day, which that
yep.
was a dead wing goalie. So I mean, you got to draft it. I think it was a good pick,
Hey,
especially with the Vasilevsky going on.
no, bad pick.
So
Centers were there. You look at like, you had Aturati, who I mean, he was projected top 3 in this draft
right,
last year, 12 months ago. Center,
I
natural center, playing in Liga, pro league, maybe not playing great. He's having a down year, but
right.
you're at 15. I mean, you're gonna have guys. I mean, you could get this kid who was originally considered a top 3 pick.
I'm telling you, this
Got to
draft
go
was
with.
not the draft to sit there and just stock up on centers. Next year's the draft after, and the draft after that is the year to stock up on
The
centers.
Red Wings don't seem
That's
to
what
have
it's going to
any
be.
draft that they're going to stock up on centers. So that's beginning to be the
Well,
problem because we're starting to transition out of being at the bottom. There are teams driving the bus downhill as fast as possible right now. Buffalo and Arizona just did that basically today, right?
right,
They're driving the bus downhill as fast as they can,
right.
especially Arizona. Arizona's basically stocked up on just the worst contracts in the NHL and want to be bad. They know the next 2 drafts and they know what's coming.
Arizona's not going to be there in 5 years, so they're going to end up moving anyway. So
Either way, it's a team with picks and you need players. So wherever they are, they want the good players.
we're not going to get. I mean, we're not going to get from what it looks like the way that we've built this team over the last, probably what 2 weeks. We're not going to have a shot at Shane Wright, and we're
No,
not going to
and we're
have a
not going to
shot
shut Connor Bedard either.
Bedard or Mitchkov. And I don't
No,
think Eichmann. I think he kind of switched his plan on that. I really don't think he plans on going for those guys. I think he likes who he's got.
yeah, but my point is, if you don't start actually trying to take centers and finding a center, Larkin was mid round, but
Mhm.
he's really considered now. If you look at his draft year, he's probably top 7,
Well, if he
right?
comes back and scores 30 goals this year, then the point is moot. Is we got our number one center. It's a very good possibility.
I don't
Now
think it is a very good possibility.
then
That
you have Raymond coming up. You've got another year Zadina has under his belt, which he's going to get full time next year. You've got
Yeah, but you've got Raymond, who's probably going to play wing. They have never tried him at center. There's people who
right.
thought he could play center, but they've never tried him at it. He doesn't play in the SHL. If they bring him to the AHL and he plays center, I will have more confidence in this. However, right now, we're not taking any shots at high upside centers, and no team winning the cup has had anything but high end center play.
Well, like I said, he has a plan on that, and I do think like this year, I really don't think it was just flooded with centers this year, quality centers that he liked. See, the thing is like you can build a really good team, but if the team it has no identity, at that point, I mean, you could sit there and stock up on 6 or 7 centers, and what do you got? You still got a goalie problem. All right,
Yeah, then you
that's
just trade a third round pick for the great goalie, and you're good to
yeah.
go,
He
right?
Delkovich didn't want to be there. It was very obvious. Who the hell wants to leave Carolina to come to Detroit? He said that in a statement. Obviously, he's going to lie, but at the same time, who the hell would want to leave a contender to come here?
Well, they weren't going to pay him anything. That was the whole thing there. He wanted 3.5. They offered him 1.5, and somehow they were surprised that he took 3,
You
which
just
really
didn't
didn't
want to be
make any
there.
sense at all. Well, I think if they would have given 3, he would have stayed.
If he just would have went through arbitration and got the 3.5, he'd have been fine. But
Well, arbitration was what they were worried about. They were worried about their cap structure in arbitration. That's the only reason he's not in Carolina anymore. But it didn't seem like they actually really tried to go back and forth to see what he would have taken because he immediately signed 2 years at 3 million, which is not a lot of money by any means.
right,
But look, we got Bernier who played great for us, last year and this year. Bernier had good years. We got Bernier for nothing in free agency.
right.
Grice played good towards the end of this year. Another guy. We got him for no assets in free agency, only money. If you put together a good team, you will attract a good goalie in UFA. You will be able to take your pick of good goalies in UFA. If
But what are
all
you
you
going to
need
pay
is a
him at?
goalie,
5, 6, 10?
we're talking about Tampa. They're paying Vasilevsky 9.5.
Well, yeah, Vasilevsky is a franchise goalie. You keep him long term, and you know what you have to do. You have to draft a franchise goalie. You can't just go out
Look at
and
Bishop.
grab.
Bishop was
What about him?
fantastic before Vasilevsky.
He's not a franchise goalie, he never was.
He was good.
He was good. Did they win a cup with him? I don't think they did.
No, they didn't win a cup. Only certain goalies win cups, right? I mean, cup is not franchise only. We're talking Price being franchise, right? I mean, has he won a cup? No.
He was in
So,
Montreal.
so
I mean, you have to draft. I mean, you have to draft a franchise goalie. Patty Waugh, Hasek. You have to draft those guys. And you know what? If you don't draft them,
Patrick,
you're going to end up paying. Yeah, he was drafted by Montreal, won a cup with them. Then
yeah,
he was traded because he wanted out.
right.
Goes to Colorado and
So he went
wins
to
two.
Colorado. There you go.
Wins two
There's your
more.
trade.
Oh, come on, it was such a special thing. But
I'm just saying these
I'm
circumstances are
telling
out
you,
there. This happens with goalies. There's only
there's no way you're trading for a franchise goalie or and not giving up your future asset for it. I
Wings
mean,
traded
that's
for
like
Hasek.
what's that?
Wings traded for Hasek. Oh,
Yeah,
two.
they did. Yeah, Hasek, he wanted out.
I'm just saying like these circumstances will always exist for
Plus,
goalies
was
because
that a
there's
cap?
so
There was no cap either.
there's no cap even. So he just
So you can't just go out and start trading for goalies. Completely different era there. And
I
if
disagree.
you're so down on the goal, if that's fine. If you're down on the goalie part of it, you have to replenish that pipeline. All right, I'd say our center pipeline's better than our goalie pipeline.
No, it's
You can't
not.
just go out.
Who do we
You
have?
who do we have at goalie? Gielander, Brotstrom. We have
Nedeljkovic, Grice.
Nedeljkovic is going to play right now.
I
I'm
know,
talking
and he's
about
only
past.
25.
Yeah. Okay. So we needed a goalie. We got him. All right. We got the guy that's probably going to go forward with us. All right. Grice isn't going to stay here long term, nor are we going to pay him.
No, we
All
aren't.
right.
But you'll get the next Grice. You'll get the next
Who
guy.
did you want to draft that was going to make that big of a difference at center right away? The
We don't know if Costa is going to make a difference in the next 10 years.
He makes a huge difference
No, you could have
in our
drafted
pipeline.
Lucius. You could have drafted Roddy. I mean,
We were all pissed off when Petrozelli left, but now all of a sudden we don't want to
yeah, because
draft a
we spent
goalie.
a what second or third round draft pick on him.
Yeah, still
We didn't
a
spend a
Hobie Baker
first.
finalist. It hurt. It
Yeah, but he
killed
was a
that whole
second or
pipeline.
third round draft pick.
If he doesn't
Hobie
leave, we
Baker
don't make the
finalist.
draft. Yeah, if he doesn't leave, we don't make the pick. But since he left, you kind of forced our hand on it.
My point in this is that we traded a bunch of capital to get a goalie in the first round, and now you don't have that capital anymore. It's gone.
Well, I trust him because he hasn't messed up on a first round pick.
All right. Well,
So, and we had two. So maybe we should have had two of the next year or the year after. But here we are. There's no goalie prospect outside of next year that's going to be better than the two that were in this year.
I don't know about that. I don't know the goalie prospects for next year. I didn't know the goalie prospects for this year until this year. I mean, I don't watch goalie prospects. I don't know.
Well, they're
It
important. They stop the puck.
Yeah, there's a lot of goalies available. There always are.
It is what it is. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it now. Like I told you from the get go, he was gonna go goalie first round. You're like, no, Josh, you're full of shit. And then it happened, and
Yeah,
everybody's like,
and it sucks.
"Oh,
It
what
really
happened?
sucks.
What happened? I can't believe this. I'm so shocked." Like, well,
I
if you
am.
just listen to
I
the
can't believe
grumpy guy that
Eiserman
everybody's pissed off about because
tried
I
to
said Barkov's not good, or I'm sorry, he's not a superstar.
Barkov is not a
Get out of here.
superstar.
He is not a superstar, and
No,
he's a free agent next year. What if he comes to Detroit?
won't be a superstar here either. But
Oh, oh, he's Datsuk. Yeah, I mean, if there was the choice stature of the Red Wings, it'd be Alexander Barkov as a Red
what?
Wing. The Lord and Savior. I swear to God, some of these people talk on YouTube have lost their damn minds talking about that
Someone
guy.
compared Barkov to Datsuk?
Yeah,
What?
he said he was a
No.
mini Datsuk, and
Oh
they're like, "Oh,
God,
spit and
no.
chicklets." Tell him like these guys haven't played hockey in years, and they sit there. You can't even watch all the hockey games now. How do you just been watching Alexander Barkov in Sunrise, Florida? How do you
There,
know
there,
that? I looked at
there
his
is no
numbers.
way in
There's no
hell
way.
that Barkov is Datsuk. Come on now.
He's not even a mini Datsuk.
No.
Nobody there is no player. Datsuk is a player in himself.
Datsuk
Datsuk,
pre Crosby, Datsuk for like a hot minute was the best player in the world.
yeah,
So
best two-way player in the world. Now they're
yeah.
saying Barkov's the best two player in the world right now. Yeah. Screw
Well, but
Bergeron,
even
right?
transcending two-way play, Datsuk was like a 90 point, you know, just yeah. Let's come on now. Let's don't
It's
do that.
garbage. It's garbage. I'm
Don't do
tired of
that.
it. I'm tired of fighting with people on YouTube about it. Take your opinions, shove them up your ass.
Wow. Josh's a
Yeah,
little hot about that.
yeah, but we're happy about the goalie.
No, we're not happy about the goalie. Goalie pick's
Love,
terrible.
I
Will
love
be
watching the boys
terrible.
melt down.
And maybe in like 8, 10 years, he might take the ice in the NHL. We'll see. But, until then, uh, I'm not gonna believe in it. I don't have anything
I
else.
believe in
I'm
them.
gonna go
I'm good.
drink some more beer and be unhappy about this.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna sit here and drink some more beer and be very happy about it.
All
And
right.
pop a bottle of champagne for everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is Wingscast. I'm Chris.
And I'm
That's
Josh.
Josh. And like, comment, subscribe. If you're gonna do any of those things, subscribe. I don't have anything else.
Yeah. Subscribe. It goes a long way. I interact with everybody on there. You guys comment, I will comment back. So it's not like you guys go unnoticed. So we really appreciate it. All the support.
Anyways, you guys have a good night. Enjoy the second round tomorrow.